printing using the fence method for a preliminary strip map. So for this particular file, we have the job limits for this particular project. And let's say we want to print this out as a long strip map for maybe like a public display, or maybe to jot notes down or certain things with that. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually place that cell out there for the limits of that fence that you're going to define. So if I go underneath the workflow of MoDOT CAD Detailing Standards, and I will go to the Design tab. Underneath there's a group for preliminary strip maps. And if you select that, there's going to be a variety of different scales and links that you can place for that cell. This example here, I'm going to do a 1 inch equals 100 foot strip map, and it's going to be a 6 foot length. And now you'll notice as I drag it out here, I can place that cell accordingly. I'll left click to place it, and then once I'm finished, I will just right click to reset it, and now I'm finished. So now I have that boundary that I can create a fence around in order to initiate the printing portion of it. If I go back to the workflow, and I will use the drawing workflow, and underneath the Home tab, I will go ahead and select the fence option. And it's set to the fence type of block, fence mode of inside. And I would just go ahead and snap to this point here and this bottom point right here to define my fence. Now that I have my fence defined, now I can come back up and click on my printing to print this out. Now for this particular example right here, and we'll come back to this later on in the video, we actually have level overrides assigned to this. And that may be certain things where maybe by default this is what color should be and the symbology should be for our CAD detailing standards. But if you want to print out with different symbology and still keep to our CAD detailing standards, you can set up what they call a level symbology. And that's in a totally separate video with that underneath the levels. But if I come back to my view attributes and I turn on level overrides, you're going to see certain symbology change, like what I'm doing right here. And that level overrides will come into effect whenever we do the printing here in a little bit. So I'll go ahead and turn that off for the time being. So now if I come up and click on my print, inside of here, I'm going to change my option from MoDOT PDF Sheet to MoDOT PDF Fence. And you'll notice that once you change that, you'll have some different parameters set up for that. For my long plot, I know that I placed it as a 6 foot, so I would select that. And you have some other options underneath there, but we want to adhere to whatever length that you defined for that particular cell that you placed. And then I will go ahead and click on the maximize. And if you want to change this to between a color or black and white, you can change the color as is, just like what I'm doing right there. Another thing that you want to look at if you want to apply those level overrides that you assign for those particular levels is you need to come up here and select this print attributes. And inside of here, in your print attributes, you can define what you want to have printed or what you don't. Now by default, most of these are set to what they should be, but there may be certain times that you may need to tweak that. And for this example here, maybe you want to apply those level overrides that you defined in your level display. So I can actually turn that on, and I can click on OK, and you'll see some other stuff underneath here also. But for this example, we'll just go ahead and click on OK. And you'll kind of see in the preview here, those overrides are now into effect. And then of course you got your other options as you need to if you need to change those. So now if I'm ready to print that, I would just simply go ahead and click Print to File, and I will do the No Wizard. It's going to save it underneath the design folder. Of course I could change it to somewhere else, but I'll just leave it as is. And now it's going to go through there and actually print out this DGN file to a PDF. Now once that's completed, I can come back into ProjectWise, and I think that one there was created underneath the design folder, so I will select it, and now you'll see this PDF underneath there. And if I open it up, you'll see that it printed that out accordingly. So now you just take this PDF And of course, you could go through the printing portion of it through PDF and send it to whichever plotter that you want for that particular print if you're wanting to print it out. Close that one down, and I will go ahead and check it in. And now if I'm done with the printing, I can go ahead and close it down, and I'm finished. So those are the steps of plotting a strip map to a PDF file.